It's Cherrien if you're new here. Hopefully it's warmer wherever you are. Yet again, another cold day in Seoul. But from what I've heard, it's only supposed to last until late this month, early into March, and then by April, we'll be seeing summerish weather. I'm not such a summer lover. I love my colder seasons like fall, winter, so sincerely hoping that's not true. Anyways, enough seasonal depression talk. How have you been? Don't think I ever caught you up on what the exhibit is actually gonna be like. For one, I'm not doing this alone. I am collaborating with this brand called Tiscar Espadas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it is a fashion brand based in Spain, and they create these beautiful garments, and they they only release one seasonal collection per year, and they release it in the context of chapters. So each of their collection is called chapter blah blah blah. Really excited to be a part of their collection, a part of their story. Genuinely, I feel so underqualified to even be in the presence of such creative people, but I always love these more collaborative exhibits, especially in this case because we are going to be teaming up to create some of these edition pieces, tiny trinkets, souvenirs for their Seoul pop-up here. I'm gonna be providing these ceramic pendants, ceramic beads, and they're gonna be turning them into little keychains and just other accessories. I don't know, maybe they'll just sew on some pieces onto their garments. Not sure exactly how. Also, another aspect that I am excited about, because we don't know for sure what we're going to be creating exactly. Can't wait to see what they'll end up creating with the pieces that I create. When I'm crafting something, I craft it because I have an outline in my head of how I want these to be assembled or how I want them to be presented, and my ideas and their ideas could be totally different, and I think that is what's special about teaming up with another creative. Ceramics, which is my main medium, takes such a long time to fully produce. Just the firing process alone takes about half a week, so don't have a lot of time, which ironically has actually given me more creative flow. There's this interval of time when I've had the chance to actually look back on my work. Every idea I've had just seems so tacky and so horrible. I can't even remember why I thought it was a good idea in the first place. I end up hating, absolutely hating every single sketch, every single idea I've had, and it prevents me from actually producing any work. I've actually seen someone do a whole breakdown of this phenomenon on why restricting yourself can actually improve or stimulate your creativity, and I agree 100%. Sometimes you really need to just sit yourself down and just work yourself to an agreed upon deadline. But that being said, sometimes those deadlines have actually been the root cause to some of my creative burnouts, because I work myself and grind myself to a slightly rushed schedule that once I finished, I am so deadbeat. This is one of my more long-term goals for the year. I really want to learn how to nurture my inner artist, the artist way. I think I first saw this on one of Moya's vlogs, and then coincidentally saw one of my favorite artists, Rachel, doing it as well with her boyfriend, and I just took it as a sign for me to start doing it too, because I fully trust their judgment. I haven't officially started yet. I just read through the pre-instructions before doing the actual exercises. Basically, this is a 12-week practice, and each week you have different tasks, and at the end of each week you just sort of come back and reevaluate and check in with yourself to see how you've done. The tasks are different every week, but what's consistent is that you need to do morning pages, which is just 3 pages of stream of conscious writings and scribblings. It's not remotely professional. It can just be like random thoughts. If you don't have anything to write, you can just write "I don't have anything to write" repeatedly until you think of something. It is that casual. It's more about just brain dumping and sort of getting some movement into your morning. Also, the Instagram algorithm has been picking up on my activities apparently, because as soon as I ordered The Artist's Way, I got recommended a very similar exercise book by Twyla Tharp, and this one's called The Creative Habit. Some actually really recommend this over The Artist's Way, so once I finished the first book, I'll dive into this. Along with that, I've also been taking a few classes on how to prolong self-motivation, prolong creative flow. Speaking of, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring a portion of this video, as well as always providing and recommending classes that I am looking for and that I need. Murawski's class on motivation for creatives really hit everything I wanted to focus on, especially during this period of time in my life right now. I love that I have something to guide me through my creative process. Definitely been a big help. I've also been able to turn to them for some of my other creative projects, like my little painting that I'm going to be doing for my living room. Skillshare has thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, productivity. Whether you're looking to learn a specific skill like graphic design, illustrations, animation, even video editing, or insights into entrepreneurship, marketing, and more, there are so many experts that are willing to share their expertise and tools and tips with you. So be sure to head to the link in my description, where the first 500 of you will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So, it's been a few days. This just came in the mail yesterday, which means I can finally get started on this. Did not think there was going to be this many pieces, but I should be able to do it. Tied up and also have a hood up, because last time while I was priming my canvas, I made the mistake of having my hair down, and it took me days to get the primer out of my hair. It took several washes, and I think I still have bits of primer left out the tips of it, so will not make the same mistake again. I haven't been to the studio in a couple days either, because taking a little break, but I thought in between I would sort of find another creative outlet, and plus I've had this canvas just laying around the house for quite some time, so thought might as well. Also thought I had more brushes, but evidently I don't, so this is my one and only brush, so I'm gonna have to go out and get some more later, but for the time being I think we'll just lay some groundwork. I don't want this canvas to be, or to have like a specific subject. I think it's just too big. Maybe that's just me, but I really want this to just be a wash of color, sort of abstract. Maybe we'll do some patterns. For now, I just want it to sort of match my little deep olive green couch that we have here. It just looks too empty. So I've been looking through Pinterest for some inspo, but I didn't really want to gather too much inspo because I feel like that just might get me sort of too into my head and it won't be as fun. But yeah, I've been seeing tons of abstract painting. I think we might just go for like these. Try to find her name. Kate Zim Turpin, I think that's her name, where she does like these sort of abstract looking florals. Thought that was really cute. The reason I'm looking for different means of creative outlets is because I do want to take a break from work, from just going to the studio and the time in between, but I find that just doing nothing during those breaks makes it harder for me to get back into the studio and get back into my creativity. So during the breaks, I'm trying to keep my brain stimulated, keep my creativity stimulated with some harmless fun. Something that just won't require like too much effort, too much thought. So I got this little clear acrylic palette that I could put my paint on, and here is my little palette knife and my water and a few paints. Still figuring things out as I go, so wish me luck. Also, I left my apron back at the studio, so we're just gonna have to hope for the best. Hope that I don't get too much paint on these clothes. I mean, I did wear stuff that I don't mind getting dirty, but still. In hindsight, kind of regretting starting my first ever painting with such a huge canvas. Maybe I should have started off with a really tiny one. Back at the studio, we're finishing up the beads that I made the last time I was here. I might make more, or sometimes I just get tired of making the same things and I have to sort of shift my attention and energy to other projects so that I can sort of keep a consistent workflow. I still have to make the centerpieces for the exhibit. Sorry to cut you off, but at some point the clay started to go over my hands and I didn't want to get them on my camera, but thank you for tuning in again. I thought it was going to be hard juggling vlogging while focusing on the exhibit, but this artist's diaries, true to its name, has really been a physical documentation for me to look back on and regain perspective on my artwork, amongst other things. So thank you all for unknowingly holding me accountable to this. Other than having to constantly worry about ruining my camera when in the studio, I think we're making some core memories here. Also so grateful that I'm able to share this time in my life with you all. So talk soon. Bye.